Hello, friends. We live in a world where everybody has an opinion. They'll tell you how to live, what to wear, whom to love, what dreams are too big. But let me tell you something I've learned over the years. The silence is one of the most underrated strengths in the world we live in today. In a society where everyone is constantly talking, sharing, reacting, posting, and giving their opinions, choosing to stay silent can be a power move. Silence isn't weakness. It's not about being passive. It's about being intentional. When you choose silence, you're telling the world, I don't need to prove myself to you. I know who I am. And that self-awareness is powerful. Think about it. When someone underestimates you, mocks your dream, or questions your ability, your first instinct might be to fight back, explain yourself, or prove your worth. But ask yourself this. What does proving yourself to people who already doubt you really achieve? Most of the time, nothing. They've already formed an opinion, and no amount of talking will change their perspective. That's when silence becomes your strength. Instead of reacting emotionally or defending yourself endlessly, you keep your head down, stay focused, and let your actions tell your story. You don't need to shout about your goals when you're working hard in silence to achieve them. Silence gives you space to grow. It keeps you grounded. When you're not constantly responding to every distraction or negative comment, you preserve your energy. You stay aligned with your purpose. You listen more, reflect more, and understand yourself better. That's when you truly evolve. Growth doesn't happen in noise. It happens in quiet moments when you're learning, creating, healing, and becoming. And while the world is busy talking, you're busy building. People often think speaking up is always the way to show strength. And sometimes it is, but there's a difference between speaking with purpose and just speaking to be heard. When you speak from a place of security and calm confidence, your words carry weight. But when you're constantly trying to defend or explain yourself, you lose that power. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to say nothing at all, and just continue on your path. Let them wonder what you're up to. Let them guess your next move. There's beauty in mystery. There's dignity in restraint. Staying silent doesn't mean staying still. It means moving in silence, making progress without broadcasting every step. Not every win needs to be posted. Not every setback needs to be shared. Your journey is yours. And when you honor it by keeping parts of it sacred and private, you protect its purity. You keep the focus on the work, not the noise around it. And here's the thing about silence. It makes noise in the right way. When you succeed without screaming for attention, people notice. When you glow without seeking validation, it's magnetic. And when you finally speak, your voice is louder because it's rare, not because it's raised. There will always be people who misunderstand your silence. They'll say you're distant, arrogant, maybe even weak. Let them. Their perception is not your reality. You don't owe anyone an explanation for being focused on your goals. You don't have to announce every move. The only validation you need is the one that comes from within. Silence is also a form of self-respect. It says, I'm not going to lower my energy to match your negativity. It says, my peace is more important than your chaos. When you learn to protect your mental and emotional space with silence, you become unshakable. People will try to trigger you, bait you, challenge you. But if you've trained yourself to respond with calm and clarity, they lose all their power. It takes strength to be silent. It takes maturity to observe, to wait, and to act with intention rather than impulse. And that's something not everyone can do. So if you're someone who's learning the art of silence, understand this. You are not weak. You are mastering a higher level of discipline. You are choosing grace over reaction. You are focusing on building, not battling. And in the end, that's what sets you apart. Let your work be your voice. Let your peace be your power. Let your silence be your statement. Because when you focus on yourself and stay silent, you don't just rise. You rise with purpose, with class, and with unstoppable momentum. There will always be noise. Always. The world is full of people who love to talk about you, your dreams, your failures, your choices. Sometimes they don't even know you, but they'll have something to say. Opinions are free, and people love handing them out. And if you're not careful, you can get caught up in all that noise. You can start believing what they say about you. You can begin doubting your own journey just because someone else couldn't understand it. That's why it's so important to ignore the noise and stay locked into your own vision. Not everyone will get you. And that's okay. You're not here to be understood by everyone. You're here to live your truth, chase your purpose, and build the life you believe in. The minute you start living to satisfy everyone else's expectations, you lose yourself. You lose your voice. You become a version of you that's shaped by fear instead of freedom. And that's no way to live. People will always have something to say, especially when you're doing something different, something bold, something they didn't have the courage to do. The moment you step out of the box society placed you in, the moment you start chasing a dream that's bigger than your background or your circumstances, the noise gets louder. You'll hear things like, that's unrealistic, or that's not for people like us, or who do you think you are? And here's the truth, that noise has nothing to do with you. It's a reflection of their own limits, not yours. So what do you do when the noise comes? You don't fight it. You don't try to silence every critic. You don't waste your energy explaining yourself to people who've already decided not to support you. Ignoring the noise means choosing yourself every day. It means waking up and asking, what do I want? What do I need to do today to get closer to where I want to be? It means staying focused even when it's hard, even when you're tempted to clap back, even when you feel alone. It's not easy, especially when the noise is coming from people you love. Sometimes it's your friends, your family, your community that questions your path. But even then, you have to hold your ground. Respect their opinions, but don't hear them, but don't let them drown out your inner voice. There's a reason why some of the most successful people are the ones who didn't listen to the world. They listened to themselves. They followed their own compass. They trusted their instincts. And because of that, they created something extraordinary. You can't build something extraordinary by following ordinary thinking. If you want different results, you need to have a different mindset. That means tuning out the negativity, the doubts, the pressure, and tuning into your own passion, your own fire. Let the world say what it wants. Let the noise happen in the background, but don't let it distract you from the work. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. Your results will speak. Your growth will speak. Your transformation will speak. And when it does, the same people who once doubted you will say, I always knew you'd make it. Let them talk. Let them flip their opinions. That's not your concern. Your focus is your superpower. In a world filled with noise, staying focused is rare. It's what sets you apart. Most people get distracted. Most people give up halfway. But if you can ignore the outside noise and stay committed to your inner calling, you'll reach places others only dream of. You'll build something real. You'll build something real. Something that lasts, so every time the noise gets loud, when people criticize, doubt, or try to bring you down, just smile, let them talk, let them watch. Because one day they won't be able to ignore you. One day your success will be louder than any opinion ever was. And on that day, you'll be glad you stayed focused and ignored the noise. Keep your eyes on your path, stay centered, stay true, and let the noise fade into the background while you create your masterpiece. We live in a time where everyone feels the need to announce every move, every step, every achievement, sometimes even before it happens. Social media has made it almost normal to broadcast your goals before you've even started working on them. But here's a truth most people don't talk about. Real success doesn't come from constant noise. It comes from consistent effort, quiet discipline, and a relentless work ethic that doesn't need an audience. When you work in silence and shine in public, you protect your energy, your ideas, and your momentum. You don't owe the world a play-by-play of your process. You don't have to say your plans just to prove you're doing something. In fact, sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself is to keep your goals to yourself. Why? Because not everyone will understand them. Some people might pretend to support you but secretly hope you fail. Others might unintentionally plant doubt in your mind. When you constantly talk about what you're going to do, you open the door to opinions, distractions, and unnecessary pressure. Working in silence means focusing completely on the journey. It means putting your head down and doing the work, day in and day out, even when no one's watching. Especially when no one's watching, because that's when it really counts. That's when the foundation is being built. That's when your character is being shaped. Success isn't just about the final moment where everyone claps for you. It's about all the moments before that. The early mornings, the late nights, the doubts you had to push through. The battles no one else saw. And the truth is, the more energy you spend talking about your goals, the less energy you have to actually pursue them. There's something powerful about staying quiet and letting your results do the talking. Because when you do finally shine in public, it's undeniable. People can't question your success when they see it for themselves. You don't need to convince them. You don't need to explain. You simply show up, deliver, and let your work speak. There's also a certain peace that comes with keeping your process private. It allows you to move without pressure. You're not constantly thinking about who's watching or what they might think if you fail. You're free to take risks, to make mistakes, to learn and grow without an audience. That freedom is what allows you to truly elevate. People often confuse being visible with being successful. Just because someone is loud doesn't mean they're winning. Just because someone is quiet doesn't mean they're losing. The loudest person in the room isn't always the most powerful. Sometimes it's the quiet one in the corner, building in silence, preparing for something big. Don't get caught up in appearances. Focus on the substance. Focus on the work. When you work in silence, something else amazing happens. You become unshakable. Because you're not building your dream on applause. You're not relying on validation. You're building from the inside out. You learn to trust yourself, to believe in your vision, to keep going even when it's lonely or hard. And that internal strength, it's what will carry you through the highs and the lows. Then comes the moment when your work pays off. That moment when people see what you've built and they're stunned. Because they had no idea what was happening behind the scenes. You didn't announce it. You didn't seek praise. You just delivered. And when you shine in public like that, after months or years of grinding in silence, it's different. It's real. It's lasting. So let the others talk. Let them post. Let them perform. You stay grounded. Stay focused. Stay committed to your craft, your dream, your growth. You're not here to impress anyone. You're here to become the best version of yourself. And that version is shaped by quiet hours, not loud announcements. In the end, you won't be remembered for what you said you were going to do. You'll be remembered for what you actually did. So build in silence. Master your skills. Chase your goals. And when the time is right, let the world witness the brilliance you created, not because you told them, but because they saw it with their own eyes. In a world that constantly demands your attention, your energy is your most valuable resource. It's not time, it's not money, it's your energy. Because how you manage your energy decides how you show up in life. And yet, most people give it away so freely. They let people, problems, negativity, and drama drain them without even realizing it. That's why protecting your energy is essential. And one of the best ways to do that? Staying silent. You create distance between yourself and all the noise, opinions, and emotional chaos that surround you. You don't react to every little thing. You don't waste your words trying to defend your choices to people who will never understand your vision. You don't respond to drama with more drama, with more drama. You pause, you breathe, you let things go. That silence isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's you choosing peace over proving a point. And that decision, again and again, protects your energy and keeps you in control. Not every comment needs a comeback. Not every rumor needs a response. Not every insult deserves your attention. When someone tries to bring you down or pull you into a meaningless argument, staying silent is your shield. It shows that you're above the nonsense. It shows that you don't need to react to maintain your worth. You already know who you are, and when you know that, you stop feeling the need to fight for it. Silence also gives you clarity. When you stop talking, you start listening, not just to others, but to yourself. You hear your own thoughts more clearly. You feel your emotions instead of suppressing them. You process what's really going on inside you without the interference of outside voices. And that internal clarity is where real strength begins. Because once you understand your triggers, your patterns, and your needs, you gain the power to respond with intention instead of reacting out of habit. Protecting your energy doesn't mean isolating yourself from the world. It means knowing when to engage and when to walk away. It's about creating boundaries, not to keep people out, but to protect your peace within. Some people thrive on drama, gossip, and chaos. You don't have to join them. You don't need to lower your vibration just to match someone else's dysfunction. Your silence sends a message that says, I'm not here for that. And the more you honor your own peace, the more you attract people and situations that reflect it. There's also a deep confidence that comes with protecting your energy. When you stay silent in situations where most people would lash out or spiral, you show maturity. You show control. You stop letting external chaos dictate your internal state. And that's incredibly powerful. Because once you master your inner world, nothing in the outer world can shake you. You become centered, grounded, focused. And when you operate from that space, you make better decisions. You move with purpose, and you stay on track. People often confuse silence with indifference. They think if you're not reacting, you don't care. But that's not true. Sometimes you care deeply. You just choose to care in a way that doesn't destroy your peace. You choose to care without getting consumed. You learn that not everything deserves a piece of your heart or your mind. And that realization sets you free. It's also important to recognize that protecting your energy is an act of self-love. It's you saying, I matter, my peace matters. My growth matters more than temporary satisfaction from arguments or validation from strangers. You give yourself permission to disconnect from anything that doesn't serve your higher self. And in that disconnection, you reconnect with what truly does. So the next time you're tempted to respond, to explain, to argue, ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Will this matter a week from now? A year from now? Is this helping me grow or just pulling me into more noise? Most of the time, you'll find that silence is the most powerful answer. Protecting your energy isn't just a personal choice. It's a survival strategy in a chaotic world. It's how you stay focused. It's how you stay sane. It's how you continue to rise, even when everything around you is trying to pull you down. So embrace the silence. Hold your peace like it's sacred, because it is. Your energy is precious. Guard it like your life depends on it, because in many ways, it does. Confidence doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't need to be flashy, boastful, or constantly trying to prove something. Real confidence is quiet. It's calm. It's grounded in a deep sense of self-awareness and self-worth. And the most powerful kind of confidence is the one that doesn't need to announce itself. It simply walks into a room and is felt. You don't need to raise your voice when your presence already speaks volumes. That's the kind of confidence that lasts. That's the kind of confidence that transforms lives. In a world where people are constantly trying to show off their success, prove their intelligence, or seek attention, being someone who knows their worth without needing external validation is rare. And that rarity is what makes it magnetic. Think about the people you admire most. Are they the loudest in the room? Or are they the ones who carry themselves with grace? Who don't need to compete? Who make you feel their strength without ever saying a word? That's the kind of energy that speaks louder than any speech ever could. When you're truly confident, you don't get shaken easily. You don't panic when things don't go your way. You don't compare yourself to others constantly because you know you're walking your own path. You're not intimidated by someone else's success because you trust your own timing. You know that what's meant for you will never miss you. And that sense of peace becomes your superpower. You don't have to dominate every conversation. You don't have to interrupt others just to make your voice heard. You don't have to post every win online just to prove you're making progress. When you're secure in yourself, you move differently. You move with purpose, with intention, and with a quiet confidence that says, I know who I am. I don't need you to validate it. Confidence that doesn't need to shout is also emotionally intelligent. It doesn't react impulsively. It listens more than it speaks. It knows when to step up and when to step back. It doesn't get triggered by every comment or every bit of criticism. Instead, it observes, it learns, it adapts. And because of that, it grows faster and more powerfully than ego-driven confidence ever could. There's also a strength in being able to walk away without a dramatic exit, to leave the room without needing to slam the door, to succeed quietly without announcing every move. That's not weakness. That's maturity. That's a high level of confidence that doesn't crumble under pressure. It doesn't need applause to keep going. It keeps going because the fire is internal, not external. When you understand your value, you stop trying to prove it all the time. You stop over-explaining yourself. You stop trying to fit into spaces that weren't built for you. You become more selective with your time, your words, your energy. You realize that your silence can say more than 1,000 words. That walking away from what doesn't serve you is a statement in itself. And what's amazing is that this kind of quiet confidence not only transforms how you see yourself, but how others see you. People respect you more when you don't need to dominate. They trust you more when you listen deeply and speak with clarity. They admire you more when you carry yourself with humility and strength at the same time. You become someone who inspires others, not by what you say, but by how you live. Confidence is not about being perfect. It's not about always knowing the answer. It's about being okay with not having all the answers and still believing in your ability to figure things out. It's about trusting your journey even when the path isn't clear. It's about looking in the mirror and saying, "I've got this," even when no one else is cheering for you. That's the quiet power of real confidence. So if you've been feeling like you need to be louder, flashier, or more impressive to be taken seriously, pause. Ask yourself why. Ask yourself if it's coming from a place of insecurity or from pressure to meet someone else's standards. Then remind yourself, confidence doesn't need to shout, it just needs to show up. Every day, with consistency, humility, and strength, let your calm presence be the loudest thing in the room. Let your energy speak, even in your silence. Because when you truly know who you are, the world can't help but notice, even if you never say a word. One of the most powerful things you can do for your growth is to focus inward, to look at your own life, your own choices, your own progress, without constantly comparing it to someone else's. In today's world, comparison has become almost automatic. You scroll through your feed and within seconds you're measuring your life against someone else's highlight reel. Their success makes you question your journey. Their achievements make you feel like you're behind. But here's the truth. Comparison is a thief. It steals your joy, your focus, and your ability to fully commit to your own path. And the antidote to that? Focusing completely on yourself. When you focus on yourself, you take your power back. You stop looking at what others are doing and start asking yourself the real questions. What do I want? What does success look like for me? What kind of life do I want to build? And those questions open up a completely different world. A world where you're no longer chasing someone else's version of success, but defining your own. Focusing on yourself isn't selfish, it's necessary. It means tuning out the noise so you can tune into your truth. It means spending time understanding your strengths and weaknesses, your dreams and fears. It means working on your mindset, your habits, your self-belief. And the more you do that, the more you realize that everything you need is already within you. You don't have to be like anyone else. You just have to become the best version of you. Growth is an inside job. It doesn't come from watching others or wishing you had their life. It comes from doing the work. The quiet, often uncomfortable work of self-awareness and self-improvement. It means confronting your excuses. It means owning your mistakes without shame. It means forgiving yourself for the past and committing to doing better moving forward. No one else can do that for you. That's your responsibility. That's your power. And here's the beauty of focusing on yourself. The more you do it, the more peace you create. You stop stressing over what everyone else is doing. You stop feeling rushed by other people's timelines. You realize that life isn't a race. It's a journey, and everyone is running their own marathon. You don't need to compete. You just need to stay in your lane, keep your pace, and keep moving forward. There's a certain confidence that grows from self-focus, a calm, grounded confidence that doesn't need to be flashy. When you know you're doing the work, when you know you're evolving, when you know you're taking care of your mind, body, and soul, you stop seeking validation. You stop chasing external approval. You learn to validate yourself. And that inner validation, it's so much more powerful than any praise the world could give you. People will come and go, trends will change, life will keep shifting. Yet the one constant in all of it is you. So the more you invest in yourself, the stronger your foundation becomes. You're not shaken by every little storm, because you've built your strength from the inside. You're not easily influenced by opinions, because you've formed your own values. You're not living reactively, you're living intentionally. Focusing on yourself also helps you build better relationships. When you're full within, you're not trying to take from others. You're not needy, you're not insecure. You're able to love without attachment, support others without jealousy, and celebrate their wins without feeling small. Why? Because you're not operating from a place of lack. You're whole, you're focused on your own journey, and that energy is magnetic. So don't waste your time trying to measure up to anyone else. Don't get lost in the illusion of someone else's perfect life. You don't know their struggles. You don't know their story. What you do know is you, your vision, your values, your voice, and that's more than enough. Keep your eyes on your own paper. Keep showing up for yourself. Keep evolving, not to impress others, but to honor your own growth. Because at the end of the day, it's your life, your path, your lessons, your victories. So make them count. Not for likes, not for applause, but because you deserve to become everything you're capable of being. Focus on yourself. Stay grounded in your truth, and let the rest of the world do what it wants. You've got bigger things to build.